Welcome to my basement gym once again. I am Chris, and this is Stretch and Relax. Feel free to have a block handy, have a strap handy. If you don't have a block or a strap, don't worry about it. You can grab a belt, you can grab a towel. Feel free to grab some pillows. They're just there to aid you to feel a little bit more comfortable while holding in a stretch or just giving you a little bit of support, a prop, to kind of help make you get the most out of this class. If you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Nothing is required. There's always other options, okay? Let's just start by just taking a deep breath in. Just take a big deep breath. Put those arms up. Reaching up towards the ceiling, big stretch. And exhale. Just let it all out. Let your arms hang. Let your body just hang. Don't worry about posture right now. Just take a big inhale. Stretch and exhale. Let it all out. Let's just do this a few times. Lifting, opening up the heart to the ceiling. Big stretch. Lift up. And blow it all out. 2 more. One last time. Just take that moment just to clear out those thoughts. Push everything out that we have going on. Step in the feet. Nice, comfortable line with our toes turned out as we take a big inhale. Putting our arms in a V, we're going to push into that left foot, pushing the hips to the right, pushing the hips towards our left, reaching out to where the wall and the ceiling meet, and then lift back to center, float those arms down. Let's do that again. Big inhale. Come to a V. Now pushing into your right hip and your right foot, reaching out to where the walls meet the floor, or walls meet the ceiling. Spine is straight. I'm not rounding or slouching. This is more about the hips, pushing those hips out. Let's bring center and float it down again. Let's do that again. Push. Tucking our tailbones under, bringing the elbows closer to our ears instead of in front of our body. And back to center as we float down. Big stretch. And pushing the hips to the left. Good. Let's come back center. One more time. We're going to add into this, okay? So pushing our hips to the left, right. This way. I'm having a brain cramp with left and right today. But let's take our right hand, put it on our thigh. Now, rotating over to a flat back, reaching diagonally out, supporting ourselves. Belly is in. Now open back up again. And if you feel like it, you can lift that arm, pushing that hip towards our left and back center and floating down. Let's do the same thing, other side, lift up. Pushing the hips to the right, reaching out to where the wall would meet. And now hand on our thigh for support as we rotate our chest over. Now a little change here. We're not coming to center. Let's bring those arms down. If you can touch the floor, wonderful, but don't worry if you can't. Fingertips can be on the floor. If you can't touch or hanging in space, you can rest the crook of your thumb in the bend of each elbow, or put your hands on your shins. What I'd love for us to do is just let the body hang. Take all the weight out. Soften those knees. Breathe. And then just let that upper body sway side to side. Shaking the head, releasing all the tension. And now walking our hands up our thighs for a little support. Pull those belly muscles in and round up one vertebrae at a time. Setting the shoulders back as we lift our chin. Good. Give the shoulder blades a little squeeze behind us like we're hugging a pencil. And now round forward, drop that pencil. Good. We picked up that pencil again. I want you to hug that pencil between your shoulder blades. and then let it fall. Again, hug that pencil between your shoulder blades, and then drop that pencil. One more time. Hug that pencil. Keep hugging it. And I want us to think about lifting our sternum just a little bit to our nose. Just a little bit. Notice I'm not sticking my ribs out. It's just about taking my sternum, hugging that pencil, just gently lifting up to my nose, but see my ribs stay down. Okay? Good. Let's keep that as we practice a little forward fold. Now this would be a great time. If you need to, you can grab your block. You can stick it right in front of you for a wee bit of support. As we inhale, and then hinging at our hip joint right here. Push the hips back and allow the body to come down to the block or to the floor if you can touch it. If this is too high, you can lower it. You can bring it all the way down, but let that head hang. Shake it side to side as if saying no. Now nodding as if saying yes. Good. Pull those belly muscles in. Let's round up one vertebrae at a time. Hands on our thighs for a little bit of support. As we lift up. Good. We're going to hug that pencil again. This time, arms up, thumbs back, palms to the ceiling. Hug that pencil. And now drop the pencil. Let's hug that pencil. And drop the pencil. Two more. Hug that pencil. And drop the pencil. One more. Hug the pencil. Keep that hug. Let the arms fall. Stitch the rib to the hips. Sternum to our nose. Lengthening that spine. Imagine we have a string on the crown of our head, lifting our neck, lengthening our neck. Good. One more hinge at the hip joint, right here. Inhaling and exhale. Hinging to our blocks. If you don't have your block, feel free to use a chair as well. You can always put a chair in front of you. We're going to be doing some rotations here. I'll give you a side view so that way you may see this fully and properly. So after we've hinged to our block, let's take the right leg, push the right leg into the floor. Pushing the right block into the floor, we're going to bend that right knee a whole bunch, okay? Take the left hand and point it straight out to the side, and now pushing through the block. Rotate, opening up the chest. My right knee is bent. My right hand pushes through the block. I'm not straining with my arm to tug it. My arm's just kind of out here. Basically, my arm is just a reference point to see how much thoracic mobility I have. Now, let's straighten the knee. See how I unrotated a little bit? That's okay. And let's return to the block. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to push into our left foot, bend that knee. Left hand is on the block. And the right arm's just going to point straight out from my shoulder. Now push through the block, bending the left knee, opening up the chest to the side. Breathe. Now, it's okay if your spine unrotates slightly, but let's straighten out the left leg. See how I sort of unwind a little bit? That's okay. Don't pull with your arm. Your arm is just a reference point. It's just hanging out. And let's return to the block. We're going to do that one more time. This time I'll face you. From our blocks, again, we're going to bend our right knee. Right hand stays on the block. And just point with that left arm. Or right. Let's see. I'm totally having a brain cramp day. This is your left side. I do this all the time when teaching in person too. So hopefully you're laughing at me at home just like I always expect you to. So let's bend this leg. And we're going to point to the side. Now push through the block. Open up the chest. Let this knee bend. Good. This is a great spinal rotation, mainly in the lower back. But let's have a little fun with this and make it creep up our spine around our rib cage. Straighten the bent leg. Again, see how I'm unrotating a little bit? That's okay. I'm not pulling with my arm. My arm is just floating out there. It's a reference point to see how much rotation I have. And let's return to our blocks. Same thing other side. Let's bend our leg, push through the block, pointing to the side. Now rotate the spine around. Open up the chest. Breathing into the tension. And now let's straighten our leg. Watch how we unrotate. It's okay. It's normal. It's expected. And return to the block. Good. Hands on our thighs. Give our low back a little support as we come on up. Come up halfway. Pause. Wrapping the hands around the back sides of our knees. Now pull the belly button through and drop the chin. Good. Let's flatten out the spine one more time. So there's flat. And now pull the belly button through. A gentle pull in the backs of our legs. And one more time. Flatten the back. And pull through. And flatten, supporting ourselves as we come up all the way. Good. Hug that pencil and let it fall. 2 more. Hug that pencil and let it fall. Last one. Hug that pencil and just relax a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Still standing. Let's step those feet comfortably apart, okay? We have our blocks close by. We're going to do a little bit of inner thigh stretch here, okay? Remember to keep your knees slightly soft, not locked out. And you can come all the way down or partially. It's what works for you. There's no right, no wrong, just different, okay? Let's take a big stretch, opening up the chest to the ceiling. Floating the arms down, coming over onto our right side. All I'm doing is shifting my weight a little bit. Hands can be high in the thigh. My toe is pointed forward or just slightly out, okay? Whatever foot position makes it comfortable for your knee, all right? What I want to make sure we do is that this knee stays inside of our foot. What we want to feel is a wonderful stretch on the inside of that thigh. Now use this thigh muscle to pull ourselves up and centered. We're going to do the same side again, okay? Inhale, exhale, sitting into our right side. We want to make sure that the inside of our foot is engaged in the floor as well as the outside of our foot, okay? Soft knee, wonderful little stretch. If you're not quite feeling it and you want to progress, you can come a little lower using the aid of your block. You can come all the way down. Breathing into the tension. And now using our core strength to lift us and using the inner thigh to pull us to center. Lift up and out. Good. We're going to do the same thing other side. Remember, more options, the better. Pick what works for you, whether it's just a little bit, a little more, or all the way down. Inhale and exhale. Hands on our left thighs. We gently push the hips out to our left. This knee stays inside of our ankle joint. The full foot is in contact. We're not letting ourselves roll on the outside or cave in on the inside. The knee is soft. Breathe. Feel that blossom right on that inner thigh. Our belly is braced because it's helping the low back not take the load and slumping over. Now using the strength of our inner thigh and our core, pulling back to center. Big stretch up. And exhale as we do this one more time. Coming over to the side. Again, this is great, wonderful. Maybe you can go a little lower. Maybe you're all the way down. Ooh, yay, that feels good. Breathing through the tension. Let the breath help you release. Remembering that we don't want to just plow into a stretch. We want to sneak into it. Sneak up on it. Let the muscle feel comfortable with what you are doing to it so it doesn't react by getting tight and giving you resistance. Sneak up on it. Let the tension be gentle and let it blossom. Using core strength in our inner thigh, inhale. Exhale, pull back to center as we lift and inhale. Good. Let's do some sunflower squats. Remembering that we want to sit back into our hips and our heels. We're not letting the knees lead the movement. It is actually our hips pushing back, okay? So we want to look more like this. See? Pushing my tushy up compared to this. See how my knees are leading it? Lead with your tuchus. Okay? Let's just float into this. Belly muscles pulled in. Lifting up on our pelvic floor. Our arches are lifted in our feet. Our knees press out to our pinky toes. Only 2 more. Last one. Good. Let's bring our hands here. Fingertips resting on our shoulders. We just lift our elbows up and down. We've done this before, penguin. It's just a little physical therapy exercise I picked up on that really helps with that scapular mobility on our backside. If we just do this for about 15 more seconds, it's going to feel a little less cumbersome. Your shoulders will freely move a little better than they were before. Let's do 10 more seconds. 4, 2, 1, and done. Through the middle. Open like a book and casting our arms out. Again, elbows close, opening like a book and casting the arms out. 2 more. One more. Bringing our arms to a letter T. Good. Flipping our palm up on our left side. Let's reach to the right. And then reverse each side. So we reach to the left. Reversing. And flip it. Two more. Last one. Good. Let's round forward, dropping that pencil. Picking that pencil up again. Give it a squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then drop it. And give it a squeeze. Good. Toe heel in till we feel comfortable. As we're preparing to come down onto the floor on our knees. If you do choose, if you have hard floor like mine is cement, feel free to lift up, make a wrinkle. So that way, Your knees will thank you. And you have a nice padded place to rest your knees. That also works great if you have any carpal tunnel issues, and coming down onto your hands like this causes a lot of stress. You can always make a little wrinkle. And let the heels of your hands, actually, you know what? I think it works better if you go this way. Yeah. Get a nice fat wrinkle right there. Elevates your wrist, so that way you're kind of like this instead of like that. So, again, many different ways to do things here. We're going to come down onto our hands and knees and just take the hips, and we're going to pull the hip towards the shoulder and pull the hip towards the opposite shoulder. So just kind of a kneeling little crescent moon. Let your mind's eye follow the hips as they sway side to side. Looking over that shoulder. Good. Now again, working on our thoracic mobility, because it's really, really important for that thoracic mobility, and that is that spinal mobility, basically roughly from our rib cage up to the base of our neck. Having that be healthy is what will help keep our shoulders healthy, because it's directly kind of connected to having good shoulder health and good thoracic mobility. So that's what we're going to work on still today. So coming to hands and knees, we're going to thread the needle. Starting with the back hand, I'm just going to point to that back wall, just like what we did earlier with our folded over. I'm going to push through the floor to open my chest slightly, and I'm going to scoop through, slide my fingers towards you as I bend my elbow to come down, and same thing. Open the chest and slide through. Open the chest and slide through. One more time. Open the chest and slide through. Come back to our open chest. Bringing the hand back, just resting behind our ear. See if we can't push through the floor a little bit more, rotating a little bit more towards the wall. Inhale and exhale, releasing and bringing our hands to the floor. So we do the same thing on the other side. Let's point to the wall. Pushing through the floor, opening up the chest a little bit, and then sneak through. Bending at the elbow, allow that fingertip to brush on the floor. Pulling back through, and open the chest. Notice I'm not reaching with my arm. My arm is just a reference point to see how I'm rotating. Exhale, breathe. Don't hold your breath. It's so easy to do when something is a struggle. And my thoracic mobility is not the greatest. It's something that I need to constantly work on. It's something I think a lot of people do, unless they are a swimmer. Swimmers have good thoracic mobility. That's our last one. Stay here. Putting that elbow or that hand right by our ear. Take a breath. Exhale. Can we push through the floor and rotate just a little bit more? I can't. This is it. But that's okay. Let's come back out and then walk ourselves back. If sitting on your heels is uncomfortable on your knees, don't worry, we won't be here too long. What I'd love for us to do, I'm going to take my wrinkle out. You do not have to. It might be nice for a pad for your knee. But we're going to come up onto our knees and stepping forward with whatever foot you want. It doesn't matter. We're going to make sure both sides are done. I'm just going to give you this side so you can really see my hips and make sure that we're not collapsing into this, but that we're doing that pelvic tilt. And we're keeping that pelvic tilt as we come into that lunge. So if your knee is uncomfortable, make that wrinkle, okay? What I'd love for us to do though, is make sure our knee is towards one side of the mat and our foot is on the opposite side. So we're like really far apart, like we're walking on railroad ties, okay? So again, pelvic tilt. Hands may be high in the thigh if you like. Slowly come forward into a lunge. We're gonna feel that stretch blossom right here. Stop when we feel it blossom. For me, that was here to here. Very small, it's okay. Pause here first. All right, take a breath. Now, I would love it if we could take our foot, push it a little bit harder into the mat. Can we feel that blossom a little bit more? Good. Breathing into the tension. Relaxing the foot on the floor. Now, can we sneak forward just a little bit more? Still keep that pelvic tilt. Don't sneak forward just for the sake of sneaking. And then all of a sudden your low back does one of these things. Pull the belly in. It's okay if your chest comes forward, okay? Breathe. Increase blossoming of that tension right here. All right? Good. Pushing the foot gently into the floor. And relax. And then can we do this one more? Just a little sneak. Again, don't collapse in that low back. So important that low back is long. You can see hopefully how small my movements are. That's all I need to get that little blossom right here in my hip flexor. Breathe and come back. Good. Let's take that heel onto the floor. Pull the toes back. Hands can be either side of the leg. If you have your block handy to give yourself some support, or just sit back here with your hands on your hips. Let's get a nice stretch for the back side of this leg. We're going to rock that heel side to side. Good. Let's point the toe and flex. Point and flex. Again, if you have flexibility, you can come down here, but see how I'm rounded? Yeah, this is better for me, okay? No right, no wrong, just different. Let's hold that flex right there. Stepping our foot in. We're going to change sides. Again, pretend like we're on railroad ties. You got your knee on one side and your foot on the other. So we're nice and wide, okay? Let's get that pelvic tilt before we move. Inhale, and our direction is straight forward, all right? And just sneak forward a little bit till we feel that blossom. Again, notice, here I am, this is my beginning. It's not huge. Embrace that. Feel that blossom. Now, this is just a little trick to kind of just get the body to relax. What I want us to do is, again, gently push that foot into the floor. You can feel the blossom just a little bit. And now relax the foot. And can we sneak forward just a tiny bit more? And it's okay if you do a little hinge at the hip joint. I feel it right there. Yeah. Nice. If we do a lot of sitting, our hip flexors can get tight as a drum, and I do quite a bit of sitting while working. So this is something that we can just stand up, give our hips a little love, a little stretch every hour to help reduce lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain. Tight hips make for sore knees, okay? Let's push that foot into the floor. And then relax that foot. And then one more time. Can we sneak forward? Ooh, right there, right there. I feel a gentle blossom. I've snuck forward 3 times, that's plenty. We're going to sneak on back and then flex that foot. Again, walls are wonderful things. Feel free, if you have the flexibility to come all the way down, see how my back is flat. It's because I'm a little bit looser on this side. Or you can always use your block. You can stay right here. We're just going to hinge slightly. Feel that wonderful blossom of a stretch now on the back side of our leg, okay? Breathe. Again, we're not plowing in the stretch. This is sneaking up on it. Little rock of the heel side to side. Now let's point our toe and flex. Again, point and flex. 2 more. Let's hold that flex. Good. Step in the foot in and come on down. Let's have a seat upon our sit-upons. Sticking our legs out front. Do a little bit more work on chest expansion. What I want us to think about when we do a chest expansion is not, I want to get my chest as high as I can, but then look at my low back. All right? I don't want this to be a low back thing. So pull the belly in, let the belly just sit there. It's this. See how it's from the rib cage up? That's what I want us to focus on, okay? Now, you can use your fists or your fingers pointed forward, or slightly turn the fingers outward. Gives a little bit of a break to the shoulders. We're just gonna lean back. Hands are directly underneath our shoulders. And again, you can be on your fists. And all I want us to do is press the back of our legs into the floor, pull the belly button down. Now lift your sternum up to the ceiling, pushing your hands through the floor. Breathe. Try the fists. Try the hands. Maybe even rotate the fingertips slightly outward. Let's push through the floor. Pull the belly down. We are breaking that pencil between our shoulder blade right now. Breathe. Pull the ribs down to the hips. Lift the sternum upward and outward. Paint a big rainbow. So we allow the head to fall back. Push through the floor. Inhale, front chest expansion. Exhale, walking ourselves back up. Let's give ourselves a little hug. Our chest is touching our thighs. Keep that contact as we slowly sneak our feet out, okay? You're gonna stop when you feel that delicious tension from the base of your spine into your gluteals. Stay right there. Give yourself a big hug. Breathing into the tension. Some people probably could walk all the way out and they're still here. Some people are like, I can only do a little inch, and that's okay. Again, like I say, we're all different. Embrace what you can do. Let go of what you can't. It'll come in time, in your own way. Breathing into that tension in the low back. Let the head fall forward. Let it hang. Directing that breath out through our backside. And then let's supporting ourselves as we come up. We're going to do chest expansion again. So let's straighten out those legs. You can point your toes. Some people love that. Let the back of the legs be active into the floor from your fists or hands. And if you have pillows, you can always prop a pillow underneath your wrist to give your wrist a break. But lean back. Hands are underneath our shoulders. Inhale, belly pulls down. Exhale, push through the floor. Take your sternum and sweep it back behind you. Letting the head fall back. Pull the ribs down. Pull the belly down. Low back is long. Breathe. Push through the floor. Are we breaking that pencil? Maybe folding a piece of paper. If you'd like to try a different sensation, step the feet in. 90-degree bend in the leg. So we push the hips up. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Giving ourselves another hug. Again, start up here, chest touching the thighs, and now sneak the feet out. Draping the head over our thighs and our knees. Stopping when we feel that resistance start to blossom. Don't keep going with your chest separating, okay? This is not a goal of how straight can I make my legs. Our goal is, can we feel a nice little stretch right through here? If this makes it difficult to breathe, separate your knees. Let's support ourselves as we come up. As we do one more reward for our hips, okay? Let's lay on down for figure 4 stretch. Pulling those belly muscles in as we uncurl down one vertebrae at a time. Drawing our feet in close. We'll lay one ankle on top of the knee. Flex the foot. And then with some support, let's draw the knee towards the chest. Now some people can come up and grab that knee and pull it in. But if you see me, I turn into a turtle. I get rounded. That's because I'm tight. So for me, a little hand support, a little ankle support, and I feel a lot more comfortable. You can always use a strap too, taking that strap behind your knee and using that as well, just to give you something else to grab on so you can lay back. So whatever works for you, okay? So give something else a try if one thing is not working for you. Let's breathe into the tension into that hip. And what I'd like us to do, see if we can't slide up the ankle, up the shin a little bit. So we bring this knee in line with our hip. Breathe. This foot is flexed. Don't pull it so the sole of the foot faces you. Keep that sole of the foot straight. Keep the ankle joint intact. It's a nice, perfect straight down the shin. And then a flex. Breathe. Again, we're sneaking up on this guy. We're giving our hips a little love. When we feel softness coming back to the muscles around our hip joint, draw in a little closer, okay? If you can draw that leg in all the way, I suggest another sensation would be to extend your supporting leg, allowing your heel and calf to both be in contact with the floor. If it's not, come back up here. It's okay. Find your challenge and resistance. Find the sensation that works best for you. Breathe. Now here's the fun. Roll over so the foot will rest on the floor. And then open up. Oh, yay. Gently drawing that knee downward. And let's unwind, come back to center. A little rock and roll side to side. Let's put our feet on the floor, realign our hips, realign our shoulders as we do the same thing other side. Place our ankle on top of our knee, and again, reaching through. Grab that knee, and again, if you see me, look, I'm like a turtle on a shell, very uncomfortable. So, this works for me. Or, take the strap behind the knee. That can work as well. No right, no wrong, just different. Just relax. Gosh, that feels wonderful on the hips. So right now we just got the ankle resting on the knee. You can feel that stretch just blossom, getting a little bit softer. Now, can we slide this ankle further down that knee? Bringing that knee a little higher up on the shin, making this knee more in line with our hip. Breathing into the tension again. Don't let the ankle joint bend or break. Keep it straight off that shin. When we feel softness developing, we can draw that knee a little closer. Again, if this is something where you can bring this all the way to your chest and you're looking for a different sensation, feel free to extend the supporting knee. But I would love it if your heel and calf both can be in contact with the floor. If they can't, come back up here. It's okay. And now, let's bring the sole of this foot to the floor. Arm out like a letter T. Guide it there. Gently draw the knee across, pulling the ribs down. Beautiful. Let's draw back to center. Feet on the floor. Let's lift our hips, realign our spine. Feel free to extend out the legs. I know my feet are out of the frame. I'll scoot on up. All we're going to do is find ourselves in a final comfortable position. Gosh, that felt good today. Feel free to close your eyes if you like. Feel the belly raise and fall. Try to work on that belly breathing more than chest breathing. And if it helps, put a hand on your belly. Inhale. Exhale. We should feel our hand raise and fall with each breath. Excuse me. Really dry throat this morning. Inhale. And exhale. Just practicing our belly breathing. If you're sitting in the car at lunch, if you are sitting at home, you're at work, something is stressful, take a moment, close your eyes, breathe into your belly. Just do 5 slow breaths. Inhale, slow. Slowly count to 5. Pause for just a beat, and then exhale, slowly, 5 counts. Try that 5 breaths. See if that breathing just 5 times with the pause, lengthened out, exhalations can help calm you just a little bit. We can't control what goes on around us, but we can control our reaction. So separate yourself from the problems, the issues as best you can. Take care of yourself. Do some breathing. Let yourself calm down. Treat yourself with kindness. Let that kindness radiate out to others. Well, I hope you enjoyed class today. Again, I hope what we're doing is exactly what you need. I'll keep digging to find out if there's any suggestions out there, anything more you would like in particular for stretch and relax. Maybe a chair? I don't know. We'll find out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whether you're starting this off in the morning. It's a great way to go. Or if you're finishing your day with this so you can kind of chill and relax for the rest of the evening. I just hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining me.